I want to talk about a subject today that most of us, including preachers, are afraid to talk about. We don't talk about it, and it's killing our community. We don't talk about the great sin of the 21st century. And I've told this church in passing on several occasions that the great sin of the 21st century is not drunkenness. The great sin of the 21st century is not adultery and fornication. I didn't say they wasn't sin. I said they're not the great sin of the 21st century. And all this other stuff that we have labeled people with, and we put people in categories and define people as being bad people because they behave in these kind of ways. But I want to talk today about what's really killing us. And a lot of the stuff that we do can be traced back to the sin of the 21st century, the 20th century, and the 21st century. And that sin is racism and white supremacy. That's what's killing us. We don't want to talk about it. We don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to handle it. Matter of fact, if it, you don't even know, most of us black folk, we have got to the point we believe we live in a post-racial society. And I think this situation with Barack Obama is teaching us a little bit better. We had better wake up, or we're going to find ourselves covered up.
That's right.
And dirt in our faces. So having said that, let me read the text to you I want to talk to you about from this morning. You'll find in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, 15 and following. It reads as follows. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwife, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them up on the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? That's powerful to me. Listen at that. The ruler of the nation. Here's this question. This is what the nation is asking a few of us who care in our community right now. Why are you trying to save these black boys? Why? Why are you trying to? What you trying to? They ain't no good for nothing. That's from their perspective. Listen at that. Why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? Now, they didn't raise this question to their community. They raised this question to the community of the boys that they were trying to destroy. See how I just said? Yeah. And so technically what they're doing, Tanya, they're asking you, why are you trying to save Chris? Why are we trying to save Jordan? Why are you working so hard to save Tina? Why are you working so hard to try to save Jakeevia? That's the question that's on the book today. It's been raised. It's been not only this was thousands of years before Jesus was born, hundreds of years rather. And this is the same question that's been raised down through the years. Why are you trying to save the boys? So I want to talk to the church today from this subject. saving our boys. Let's save our boys. You know this community, I don't care what y'all women do. I don't care what you say. You ain't having no baby without a man. Y'all get together and lick on one another all you want to. But you ain't coming up with no baby. Huh? You can kiss him and all that kissing, whatever y'all doing. But this woman-to-woman love, you ain't get no baby. The only thing that can produce a baby is a man being intimately in sexual intercourse with a woman.
That's right. That's the truth, though, Pastor.
And so the question is this: why are you trying to kill the boys? You kill off all the boys, and then you're on your road to genocide. So I wish I had somebody. Kill the boys, and you kill the nation. Kill the boy. Now let me say this, because I want to be clear, because I'm practicing on y'all, because I'm getting ready to go somewhere with this. I'm finna go to the preachers union. Y'all might say I might not be able to be a part of that no more when I get through with this. So I might not have nowhere to preach, but over here, but I got to do what I got to do. Here's what I want to propose to you today. I want you to understand that we as a people, or no people, can answer the question, what do we do? Until we answer the question, what is the problem? We cannot answer the question, what do we do? And that's been our problem. We don't know. We're trying to do things. We're trying to come up with answers. We're not being clear on what the problem is.
Yes, sir.
So we can't deal with this question, what do we do, until we answer the question, what is the problem? All right. And for your information this morning, the problem in the world today is racism and white supremacy. When we examine our places in the world, we will discover that a minority, less than 10% of the world's population, controls the majority, more than 90% of the world's population. There's something wrong with that. In order for the system of racism and white supremacy to succeed, a large portion of the majority community, that is the people of color, must be complicit with it. In other words, I hate to tell y'all this, I got some white supremacists I'm talking to right now. There's not a white person in this building.
That's right.
Tell the truth.
So you don't hear me. And I'm going to tell you why. You'll find out in a few minutes why that you may be a white supremacist. That's why I can't get no help out of it. Because you don't want to attack what you are.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
Tell us the truth.
In other words, for racism and white supremacy to work, the system of racism, white supremacy needs the support of a large segment of the non-white community.
Yes, you do.
That's when you see all our black men running off getting a white girl. That's where they do it. Because see, y'all black girls ain't good enough for them. And then see, white supremacy is the value system. Ain't got nothing to do with whether or not people call you a nigga or hate you and all that kind of stuff. It's the value that's been put on you.
That's it.
Pastor, you're talking right.
Wish I had somebody. And so we sit up in here, and all of us, and many of us, think that anything that a white person do is better and superior to anything a black person do. You playing the game. You helping to perpetuate the problem that's killing the people. Before I get into let me tell you something about what one scholar said about this whole idea about racism and white supremacy. He said, Neil Fuller Jr. in his book, Handbook to Dealing with Racism, How to Deal with It. He said, racism has done more to promote non-justice than any other socio-political system known to have been produced or supported by the people in the universe. No major problem that exists between the people of the known universe can be eliminated until racism is eliminated.
That's it. That's it.
The fear, frustration, malice, and confusion that is caused by racism retards or prevents all constructive activity between the people of the known universe. The only form of functional racism that exists among people of the known universe is white supremacy.
That's it.
The people who have the ability to eliminate racism do not have the will to do so.
Come on now.
And the people who have the will to do so do not have the ability.
That's right. Come on now.
Regardless of all that has been said or done, the quality of the relationship between white people and black people is and has been a total disaster. Justice is better than racism. As long as racism exists, anything other said or done by people that is not intended to help to eliminate racism and to help produce justice is a waste of time. Each and every victim of racism should minimize the time and effort spent doing anything other than thinking, speaking, and acting in a manner that helps to eliminate racism and to help to establish justice. And each and every person should seek to do this every day in every area of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war are conflicts that we have among ourselves. See, all of those 9 areas that I just named to you, we don't control none of it. We don't have no economic power. We don't have power to educate our own children. We don't control the entertainment industry.
Come on, talk about it.
That's why it's easy now for them to promote and sell this garbage that's being polluting our children's minds.
I know you.
Because the people in power in the music industry, we sing and we sing and we sing. We sung our way through segregation. Now we're singing ourselves into damnation. You don't hear me? All this pollution, all this garbage that's being put out is by design. The disrespect, calling one another whores and bitches, calling one another dogs, calling one another all these crazy names. Now we behaving like dogs.
Come on, Pastor.
And it's time for us to take responsibility and turn this ship around. Now, let me give you something right quick to let you know I know what I'm talking about. You see, our goal is to bring about justice, not to bring about the destruction or demise of any people. I don't care what they've done to it. You see, you're going to be a Christian, you got to come on with it. Now, I just named some stuff that's some terrible stuff, but God said, love your enemy. Don't even think about going there. I'm going to get you a pistol. I'm finna go mess somebody up. Don't even think about that. The pagans do that, but we're a Christian. And God said, listen to me, God said, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. And listen to me, pray for those who despitefully use you and persecute you. We got a ministry here to people who are trying to destroy us. I wish I had somebody. And this is what Michael said. This is what you got to do if you're going to deal with this stuff. Michael says, wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee?
Come on.
You ever wonder what God requires of you? And what God requires of all of us who name his name? I'm glad you asked me. This is what God requires of us. God said, I don't want much from you. God says, he has showed the old man what is good, and what does the Lord require but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. God said, I don't want much from you. I just want you to be fair and just with my people. I don't want much from you. I just want you to love mercy. I don't want much from you. I just want you to walk humbly with me. That's all I ask of you. And then if you look at our world today, many of our so-called churches, you find very few that love justice. You find very few that practice mercy. Very few that walk humbly with God. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The church as we know it in America, outside of the black community, has never been the friend of black folk. You see, the church, as we know it outside of our community, institutionalized slavery. The church, as we know it outside of this community, never walked with us when we was trying to get out of segregation and from under the thumbs of Jim Crowism. The church, as we know it today, is in the process of re-enslaving black people and supporting every law on the book that crushed and institutionalized black men in particular. That's why we're talking about today, let's save our boys. Listen to me. 2 points I want to make and 3 sub-points. Then I have a few other things I need to say, and then I'm going to give the invitation. The first thing you need to know this morning is this. It is right in the text. The people that love power, they make plans to destroy the boys of the oppressed community. It's right in front of you. That's all you got to do is write something down. Those black folks won't read it. Look at it right there in the text. And the king spoke. There it is right there. He spoke to the Hebrew midwife, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. Look what he said. And he said, now when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them up on the stool and up on the birth stool, he says, when the boy, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. That's what it said right there in the text. I want you to kill the boy, but if it be a girl, then she shall live. That happened hundreds of years before Christ came. And to this very day, that same philosophy is operative. If it be a man, if he needs some food stamps, cut him down. If it be a man and he need a house to stay in, lock him out. But if it be a woman, give her all the food stamps she wants. Give her the project that she needs to live in. I wish I had somebody. Huh? And then if you let him move in with you, your rent going up or you going to get out. I wish I had somebody. That's the same mess that was going on thousands of years ago. It ain't got nothing to do with all this. It got to do with you being a threat to the power structure. That's all that it is.
Yes, sir.
You go back and read the whole story. That's what the king was afraid of, that the Jews were going to rise up and overthrow them. That's what the whole story is all about. These people are multiplying. They're growing fast. We got to stop this stuff. We can't afford for them to outnumber us. We can't afford for them to have power and clout in their community. So what do? Let's destroy the boys. And by the way, in order to destroy the boys, we got to get them to help us. So it will look sanitary. It will look clean. It will look like we love them. But they are doing it to themselves. That's what, every time you wake up and hear a Negro today, here's what they say. All that they're doing it to themselves. All over the community, all over the United States of America, today, that's the kind of talk that we're talking. And we don't understand the system that's in place that's designed to socialize us and to even brainwash to the point where we will harm and hurt ourselves. And so there it is. On the real. Listen to me. Michelle Alexander wrote her book, The New Jim Crow. Yeah. And we got too many boys in jail today. See, we got boys that's going to jail, and don't get me wrong. I believe that if people do a crime, they need to be disciplined. Right. But if you're going to discipline, you need to make your discipline need to be just. And if a black boy go to jail for 10 years for crack, and then a white boy ought to go to jail 10 years for crack. I wish I had somebody. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all didn't pay no attention to this. I did. You know, down in Colorado, they just passed this law where they can smoke marijuana. They legalized it. And when they legalized marijuana, people were standing around the block, lined up for the store even open to buy them some legal dope. And I didn't see a brother in the line. And my question was simply this. Boy, it's the same thing about white folks. White folks never start smoking dope until they pass the law to legalize. I said to myself, black boys, they're all locked up in jail for smoking dope. And now, white folk can smoke it with no repercussion. You're right. Yeah. And don't tell me, and listen to me, people leaving from Arkansas, going all the way to Colorado to buy them some dope. Driving hundreds and thousands of miles. And I was wondering, I told my wife, I said, I wonder if they just started smoking dope. No. But you go down to Loose Dairy and go down to these camps all over the state of Texas, and you're going to find most of the boys that's locked up for dope are black boys. Right. See, you don't hear me. So we got that crowd of boys that's been taken out the equation. See, black boys that's locked up in jail can't produce no babies.
Okay.
The population can't grow.
Come on now.
And then while they got you locked up in jail and got all this pressure on you, then we began to feminize our men, and our men are turning to homosexual. It's all part of that system of oppression. And see, it's easy for a man to play the role of a woman than to stand up and to do what I'm doing today. And face the threat of being disliked and disapproved of, and face the threat of being persecuted and run out of town. It's easy. It's easier for a man to pretend to be a woman. And I know I'm right because that's what they see. They see women got access to job market, to house, to medical care, and all the things that make life worth living. Women got free access to it, and the men said, well, heck, I'm tired of all this struggling. Why don't I get me a dress? Why don't I get me some high heel shoes? Why don't I put me some panties on so I can be like women?
Heat it up, Pastor.
In Atlanta, Georgia, at one of the flagship universities in this country. Morehouse.
Yeah.
Black folk got quality education at Morehouse, but in 2010, the president of the university stood up and told the school that you men can't wear no dresses on this campus. And you men are not going to wear high heel shoes at this school.
Yes, sir.
That's real talk.
The feminization of the black male. And you're going to see more of it. You're going to see more of it. Men don't even know how to go to the bathroom now. They go to the bathroom and they sit down. So that's all they know.
Go ahead, Pastor. Tell the truth.
We playing the game because we falling for the okie doke. Brothers, y'all ain't at home there to teach your boys how to go to the bathroom. So the only person they got to go is mama, and they say, mama, go, mama, sit down. Am I right or wrong?
It's the truth.
And then you expect, can't nobody make a man but another man.
It's real talk, Pastor. Yeah, it's real talk.
And then you think about the number of brothers on the street with felonies, unmarriageable. What are we going to do about producing babies? Women don't, unless the women just desperate, they don't want to fool around with nobody that can't do nothing for them. And then all the brothers got money, they running and getting the white girls. And you start to think about how many men are being taken off the market down a slow process of death in our community. Think about them in jail, have felony, then feminized, marrying across in the white girl. Think about it for a minute. What does that mean for our girl? We had better wake up. And I ain't got no problem with Bob when he got married a white girl. But you need to marry her for the right reason.
Yes, sir. Come on now.
Don't go marry no white girl so you can be somebody. You ought to already be somebody. And you need to know that. Can't no other person add value to your life.
Say that, brother.
God already made you who you are. You're created in the image and likeness of God. And you need to operate out of that with that kind of a mindset. And so, here's the real problem. The people in power make plans to destroy the boys of the oppressed community.
Right.
It's coming, people. Now, I know it's a hard pill for us to swallow. And it's time for us to wake up and start to doing what we can to save our boys.
That's right.
And I don't care what you say, your daughters ain't gonna have nobody to marry.
All right.
You see, white men are not running to the black community to marry black girls. They're not running over here looking for us to marry. They're not looking for our daughters to marry. Black men are rejecting our women. We're going to have to go back and teach our people how to honor and respect themselves. There's nothing wrong with a black woman.
No, sir.
You're right.
I know she talk a little fast sometimes.
Look at it.
She'll tell you when you get out of place. You don't hear me?
Look at that.
They fuss a little bit here and there. But it's all right. A lot of y'all, see, you ain't did your job at home to start. That's when they fuss so much. If my wife was filled with anxiety, she'd be fussing too. But I know how to calm her down.
All right, Pastor.
Now, let y'all listen to me now. Listen to me. And if y'all need some help, y'all need to come by the classroom. As a matter of fact, I'm finna start taking my pen and writing a list down, and I'm gonna say, every time I catch these fussing women coming, I'm gonna go get their husbands and say, y'all need to come to class. Are y'all tracking with me this morning? And so, and listen to me. Now here's the danger when we got to really work on. You see, too often you don't understand that the community that putting pressure on us not to develop our boys get us to help them to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, yes.
There were two things that racist white supremacist system. It's a system. We're not talking about it. It's a system. And it's two things that they use that you got to be alert to. One is deception. Keep us thoroughly confused. Deception and trickery. Just like, for instance, let me give you an example. For instance, they want you to think that everything is well. So they let a few people like Michael Jordan make a lot of money.
Come on, Pastor. Talk.
And a few others that slip through there, they make a lot of money. See? But the most of us don't make no money. And then when you come up with the idea talking about economic parity and justice, they look at Michael Jordan. How come you can't do what Michael Jordan is doing? That kind of foolishness.
Come on, Pastor. Talk to
They keep us confused. But we need to understand that there's some other dynamics at work here. And we need to understand what those dynamics are so we can get about fulfilling God's purpose with our lives. So, powerful people know how to take weak people and use them against themselves.
Yeah.
And then if that don't work, the second thing they put in place is flat out sheer violence.
There it is. Take that.
They use the strong arm of the justice system, or whatever it takes to keep us in our place. I'm thoroughly convinced that what took the fire and the zip out of the civil rights movement was the killing of Dr. King, the killing of Medgar Evers, the killing of Malcolm X, the killing of the Kennedy.
Yeah.
And I'm thoroughly convinced that leaders in the black community stuck back and they said, these white folks serious. We had better turn and go in another direction. We can't keep doing this and we're going to end up dead just like them.
Yes.
And so we stopped. During this season right now, I was looking at television the other day. In the 60s, white men in particular hated Dr. King.
Yes, sir.
Now they up on the stage giving out awards the other day for kids doing the Dr. King speech. When Dr. King was doing the speech in 1963, the white citizen councils across this nation, headed by white businessmen, was working strategy day and night, how to block it and how to stop it. But all of a sudden they have hijacked Dr. King's birthday. Madness, sickness, craziness. But let me give you point number 2. There's a good part of this. The people that know God,
Come on.
there you go, make plans to protect the boys of the oppressed community.
There you go, brother. Come on, talk to us.
I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do. If you know and love God, it is within your purview, within your parameters, and you get this desire in your heart, and you're not going to cooperate with the system that destroys our men. And you wake up and get positive in your mind, and you're looking for means whereby you can protect the boy. Teach them the right thing. Show them the right way. Encourage them, challenge them, help them to know that you're somebody. You're not the drug of this earth. You are special. You're created in the image and likeness of the living God. Listen to me. I want y'all to get this. You're going to find 3 or 4 things, but you're going to find more than that. But these are the points I want to highlight today in this little simple presentation. I said the people that know God make plans to protect the boys of the oppressed community. Oh, how do they do that, Brother Rob? One is that the people that save the boys, the text says they fear God. I wish I had somebody. They feared God more than they feared man. That's crucial. A lot of stuff we do, a lot of stuff we don't do because we operate out of fear of what people are going to do to us. But these women whom the king came to and instructed them to take these boys' lives, the book said they feared God. I don't care what you say. You don't love God if you won't stand up for what's right. If you don't stand up for truth and justice, you can forget this stuff talking about how much you love God.
Come on, Pastor.
It's all about standing up for what's right. And God is about righteousness. And God is about preserving his image in his creation. And especially when it comes to the human being. Number 2, they obey God rather than those in power. The book says, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them. Right there in the text. You see, you don't have to obey an unjust law. Oh, they might put you in jail. I heard about a man that didn't obey the laws and they crucified him. I heard somebody. You see, unjust law. I remember one time, now maybe I'm going to say this because I need to say this.
Come on.
Years ago, many years ago, when Tina used to live right there. Matter of fact, she lived in the house right where Angie lives now. I never will forget this. Matter of fact, I never talked to Tina about it. But I went by one evening, Tamara called me in distress. And they had her brother locked up and handcuffed. They had her brother handcuffed right there, right in front of the church. And so she said, Pastor, would you come down here? I said, hold on, I'm on my way. So I get down there, and sure enough, they had the young man locked all up in handcuffed in the back seat. And of course, he was tripping too, you know. And so I asked, I said, what's going on? And he said, I ain't did nothing, Pastor. All I did was stand on the corner. I ain't did nothing. I was just standing here minding my business. They came along and patted me down. And because I questioned about why they patted me down, they handcuffed me or take me to jail. I told the police, I said, you can't do that. I said, that boy got a right to stand on the corner just like every other boy in this neighborhood. You know what he said to me? He said, you better shut up. I'm going to take you. I said, well, you got to take me, Doc, because you're wrong. That's not just what you're doing. You're going to have to take me because I'm not afraid to stand up for what's right. And you have no right. If this boy was smoking dope on the corner, if this boy had an open container of alcohol, I can understand what you're doing. But just to stand on the corner, you are violating this boy's right.
Yes,
You can't do that. And one of them Uncle Tom Negroes was the primary one. He's a black policeman. And so what I did is the white guy that was with him saw that I wasn't going to back down. So he came over and said, and he got between us. And he said, I tell you what, you come go with me. And the policeman came back. I don't know what he told him. But he said to the boy, he said to the other guy, said, you had better let him go. They took the keys, unhandcuffed him, and let him go. Because they were wrong. And thousands upon thousands of our boys are subjected to that kind of foolishness across this country. And not enough of us are willing to stand up for what's right. These women, they said, no, King, it's not right. It's not moral. It's not just. And I'm not going to do it. As you read the story on through, they told a little lie to cover up. I didn't get to that part. But God didn't punish them. Matter of fact, God blessed them. Wish I had somebody. See, y'all, we got to sit down and take a close look at this God working in our midst. And some of the stuff that we consume with, God ain't even concerned about that stuff. God is concerned about how we treat our fellow men. It's right there in the text. You can read it for yourself. If you don't like what I say, just read it for yourself. It's right there in the text. Now here's the other piece. Last piece I want to give you. They protect these children at the risk of losing their own life. Because once the king gives an edict, it is to be obeyed. If you don't obey, death is the penalty. And these women said, you know, I'd rather die and go home and be with God than to sin against God by sinning against these children. I wish I had somebody. Does anybody hear me yet? They protected the children at the risk of losing your life. And when you start to stand up for what's right, that's risky business, folks.
Sure right, Pastor.
It's risky business. I remember when the policemen pulled me over walking down the street over in by Skyline High School. I was walking through the neighborhood. Matter of fact, I was living in an apartment when I first moved to Dallas. I was living in an apartment up there when they first built an apartment up there right off Buckner there. I forget the name of it now. But anyway, G and I were one of the first couples to move in those apartments. They just built. And so one morning I was getting ready to come down to the project to preach. I was on Saturday morning. I was walking down the street, reading my Bible, getting my sermon ready, meditating on my sermon. All of a sudden, lights flashing. I said, "What are the policemen doing?" Sure driving fast. Got to me and cut in front of me and cut me off. Wait a minute here. I said, I ain't let him get out the car. I walked right up to his car, stuck my head through the window. I said, "Man, what can I do for you? Why you? He said, "We just got a call from a neighbor. It's a strange man in the neighborhood."
Yeah.
And I said to him, "Did they tell you that this strange man got off the sidewalk? Did they say that this strange man looked in their mailbox? Did they tell you that this strange man came up to that door and tried to jingle that door and all that?" No. I said, "Well, you need to leave me alone, man. Don't you know I pay taxes for this sidewalk just like these people that call up on this strange man?"
Come on.
And see, did you know that? I said, "Let me tell you something, man." I said, "I got two boys. I got two teenage boys. I never will forget. I said, I got two teenage boys. Roger and Bella were teenagers then. I said, my boys don't have what I have, and they're immature. They're not as mature as I am. And see, you come up on them the way you came up on them, y'all got into a scuffle and you'd have shot one of them and killed them or something like that. I said, but I want to put you on notice now. If you hurt one of my boys, you got to answer to me. But you got to answer to me." And then I said, "Let me tell you what Dr. King taught us." I said, "Dr. King taught us that if a man ain't ready to die for a just cause, he ain't fit to live." And I said, "For me, I'm ready to die for justice. And you don't intimidate me not one bit with your light and your siren and all of that. I am not afraid of you or nobody in this neighborhood. Made me so mad I went and bought me a house in the neighborhood." I said, "Now, do something about that." I wish I had somebody. See, we got to wake up, folks, and learn how to stand up for what's right. Our religion don't mean nothing. Let's ask ourselves this morning, why is it that we got a church on every corner in South Dallas and our people are still perishing? Tell you why? Because our preaching don't connect with the people's reality. And it's time for us to wake up. If you're going to preach this book, you got to have some guts. You got to have some courage.
Yes, sir.
And you got to be willing to stand up if you have to stand by yourself.
Hear you.
Wish I had somebody. This business is not for cowards. Because the powers to be going to come after you. Now, just as sure as rose terraces grow and begin to flourish, and we stand up for what's right, here they come. And by the way, let me tell y'all something about racism. Anytime you got, especially like me, got the system patting you on your back, you can know that it's something up. We need to wise up and learn how to flip the script so we can read the temperature.
Come on. Hear you.
You got to always ask a white supremacist, ask yourself, when people come into your contact, how is this that they offer me going to promote the system of racism, white supremacy? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And then if you find out if it's not going to promote white supremacy, racism, but it promotes justice, and then you get involved in it. Otherwise, you need to leave it alone.
I hear you.
Otherwise, you find yourself helping to tear your own community down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Y'all remember the time that the woman come in here one time and she asked us, she said she come over to help her?
Yeah. That's a great picture.
And I told her that we didn't necessarily want people to come over and do anything for her.
Yeah.
And half of y'all got scared and almost ran out the building. Y'all never forget that. Y'all. See, my point is that when people come into this contact, they got to show me that they're for what's right. I don't just endorse them because they show up. Like Brother David. David just showed up and David preached. He just like as I am. But had to check this young man out. I'm getting a feel for what he's all about. You don't lay your hands suddenly on no man.
Yeah, I see the book back.
I wish I had somebody.
Yeah.
And then some people come up, why don't you let so-and-so come on? No, I don't know who he is. Don't know what he's all about. Don't know what he stands for. Don't know what his values are.
Yeah.
I got a hard enough time as it is trying to deal with the people I'm dealing with. I'm going to bring some joke in here going to mess them up.
Okay.
So they protect the children at the risk of losing. Are you willing to take the risk for standing up for what's right and just? And stand up for your children. I remember when my boy was at Skyline High School, and I thought my boy had been, well, I didn't initially, but my boy brought it to my attention in a very emphatic way. Taught me a lesson. This is almost 25 years ago, or longer. Boy taught me a serious lesson about life. He said, Daddy, y'all don't never believe us. You believe what everybody else said, but you don't believe us. Shook me up, stopped me in my track. That's okay. That's okay. I couldn't say nothing. I went the next morning, went on to my business, got up the next morning. My boy got ready to get up and go to school. You know what I did? I got up, I said, you ain't going to school this morning. I'm taking you to school. We're going to go find out what's going on.
Yeah.
So I got down there and got in the system and started walking with my boy and found out that my boy was right. Whole lot of stuff was going on. Wasn't my boy's fault. I ended up going to Austin, to the State Board of Education, because I wanted justice for my boy. The same day, the superintendent of the Dallas Independent School District was sitting at my door. Because E.D. Charles, they called the whole school system on the car because he would get justice for his boy. That's what daddies do. That's what daddies do. That's what my religion makes me do. Some of y'all religion, all you want to do is just sing. And all you want to do is sing long, pious prayers. That's all right. Sing all you want to. Pray all you want to. Listen to all the sermons you want to listen to. But get up and go do something that's for justice and righteousness and truth. I told my wife this morning, if I were preaching and teaching, it doesn't flush out into action, and then it's all in vain. Now let me finish up here. I done gave you what I wanted to get. I want you to get those 2 points. The people that love power make plans to destroy the borders of the oppressed community. The people that know God make plans to protect the borders of the oppressed community. How do they do that? They fear God more than they fear men. They obey God rather than those that's in power. They protect the children at the risk of losing their own lives. But the Bible said, but they saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men, children alive? Now, in conclusion, this is something I put together to help me, and I want to share with you. There is no racism, white supremacy in love. Racism, white supremacy has no place in us because the love of God that has been shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit guards and governs our heart, soul, and mind. Where there's love, there's no racism or white supremacy. Where there's white supremacy and racism, there is no love. Perfect love casts out racism and white supremacy. Perfect love also prevents white supremacy and racism from entering the heart. He that practices racism and white supremacy has not been made perfect in love. And this is what I say. I'm putting it in the plural, but when I put it in the singular, I use I when I'm talking to myself. But since I'm talking to us, I'm putting in the we. But we are perfected in love because we love the Lord our God with all of our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind. And we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. We love our enemy. We bless those who curse us. We do good to those who hate us. We pray for those who despitefully use us and persecute us. We forgive all those who sin against us. Therefore, we are perfect just as our Father in heaven is perfect. We imitate God as dear children. We walk in love as children, as Christ has loved us and given himself for us. We serve the Lord our God out of a pure heart, filled with the love of God. Therefore, we vehemently reject the human notion of racism, white supremacy, black inferiority. But rather, we passionately accept the divine proclamation that all men are created in the image and likeness of God and are to be treated with dignity, honor, and respect as members of the one family of God. When the Europeans chose to set up a system of race and classify men based on skin color, white, yellow, brown, and black, with white being superior and black being inferior, with everything between white and black being less than white, but better than black, they totally rejected God's divine design for the human family. And as the result of their redesign of the human family should be totally rejected. This European system of race classification, where they place themselves at the top based on skin color, is the foundation of white supremacy in America. And white supremacy is not about whether or not white people like or dislike people of color. White supremacy is about white people making all decisions that control and govern the lives of people of color all over this world, using all human activities such as economic, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war to propagate and maintain the system of racism and white supremacy. What is the answer? I just gave it to you. Our hearts must be filled with love. And this is the way Paul puts it. And hope maketh not ashamed. In other words, I can expect a better day. Why is that? Because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. And so therefore we can love God with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, all of our strength. And we can love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Yet we can even love our enemies Why? Not because you're so strong, but because of the presence of the living God in your heart. That's what he gave it to us for. So we can stand up and be the men that he created us to be. We don't have to deny our identity. And we don't have to reject other people's identity. And we're going to have to learn how to live together.
Yes, sir.
But we can't live together until we deal with this heart matter that got us so twisted. You can't live with people that think they're better than you.
No, sir.
You can't live in a good relationship with people that you think that you're better than. We just hit somebody. And so I'm going to give you some things here that I believe that we can do in spite of all of this socialization, brainwashing, this stuff that has caused us to turn on ourselves, built into the system. Let me suggest to us that I'm going to give you about 10, 12 things I think will help you. And I'm going to give them to you. I'm not going to expound on them. But I'm going to give them to you that don't cost you a dime that you can do to help to turn this ship around. Can I give them to you? Yes, let me preface what I'm saying by giving you this first. We must stop disrespecting ourselves by calling us names other than the names we chose to be called by.
Right.
I remember going down home, and I learned a lesson. And my pastor taught me this about names. See, down in Shepherd, Texas, everybody had a nickname. Everybody will call you this: coon, squirrel, snot, rabbit, bull, all kind of crazy stuff. And so I goes to I believe my daddy's funeral. I'm getting ready to do my daddy's funeral. And my cousin walked up to me and he said, "Hey, Frog." I said, I knew who he was talking to, because that's what the people used to call me when I was young. So I just kept on walking. He said, "Man, you don't want to speak?" I said, "I don't respond to nothing but my name. You know my name. Don't call me no fraud." Did you hear what I just said? And by the way, y'all need to get that hawk off your back. I remember calling his cousin died, and I was gonna go to it, and I didn't know he was dead. And people around here talking about so and so dead. They calling him about he dead. Now they call him by his real name. And all I ever knew was his sleep name. So after they had buried the boy, then me and Connie was talking one day. And she said, well, it was his name. I said, "Oh, he was the one that they had the funeral. I didn't know the boy was dead." And people right now talking about the boy every day, calling him by his name in my presence. So stop calling people out of their name. Parents, call your children by the name you gave them. One lady came up to Jean and said she wanted to, our neighbor who lived in Houston said she wanted to, Jean, you know, I'm gonna call your youngest boy this, I'm gonna call you. Jean said, "No, you're not." So you keep your mouth shut. If you can't call them by the name that I gave them, don't call them anything. Don't you call my children nothing but what I named them. Y'all need to cut all that stuff out, because there's power in what you call people. You ever wonder why people got frog? They've been calling Snoop Dogg son, he look like a puppy, don't he? He look just like a chihuahua. Next time you look at him, check it out. See, y'all don't hear me. So stop calling one of these crazy names. And as I move to a close, here are some things we can do that will aid in lifting us out of the mess that we are in. So let's stop snitching on one another. Let's stop name calling. It don't cost you nothing to stop cursing to get your heart cleaned up. Let's stop gossiping about one another. Let's stop being discourteous to people. Let's stop stealing from one another. Let's stop robbing one another. Let's stop fighting one another. Let's stop killing one another. Let's stop squabbling among ourselves and asking racist white folks to come sell our property. Let's stop trashing out our communities and our churches and our schools. If you see some paper, put it in the trash can or pick it up. Let's stop selling drugs to our children. I'll say it one more time. Let's stop selling drugs to our children. Let us stop allowing our children to believe that they can be good parents before they are physically and emotionally mature. Let's stop playing games with sex. Let's stop believing that racism does not exist. Let's stop being discourteous to each other. Let's stop disrespecting each other. And let us stop believing that our oppressor will come and set us free.
Yes, sir.
Let me suggest to you on my way to my seat. You're going to be saved today. You better get to know that man from Galilee.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And when you get to know him, you had better go to work and working out your salvation. Amen. With fear and trembling. If you're going to make a difference in this world. If not, it's okay. Just go on and let time keep rolling on. And I'm going to share with you, things are not going to get any better until you're willing to take the risk of putting it all on the line. Even the risk of losing that which is important to you so you can save or be involved in raising up the next generation of boys and girls in this community that will honor one another and have dignity and respect because they know God, they know who they are, and they love their people. God bless you this morning, and may God keep you in his keeping care.